Opposition leader Alexei Navalny.
Alexei Navalny.
Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny.
Alexei Navalny, the head opposition leader against Vladimir Putin in Russia, is dead.
Его дело является вытеснением меня из легального политического поля.
Я вместе с вами ничего не боюсь.
Нельзя сдаваться. Если это произошло, это означает, что мы необыкновенно сильны в этот момент, раз они решили меня убить.
So, as you may know, Alexei Navalny died on February 16. This man is considered one of the main opposition leaders to Vladimir Putin and any political or economic ally that supports him. Many videos talked about him, symbolized him as a red dot, a greatest threat to Putin. He created anti-corruption foundations, made a big demonstration in Russia, announced some documentations and hidden some Kremlin scandals on his own YouTube channel. He got arrested many times, however he continued doing the thing. I mean, fight for his purposes, as any anti-politician activist in the world. Alexei Navalny was born from a military family in 1976, during the Cold War, when Russia didn't exist yet but the Soviet Union did. He grew up in Obninsk, about 100 kilometers southwest of Moscow. He studied law in 1997, then he completed an economic degree at Russia government's Financial Academy. 2000, he got married, when Putin is still a prime minister. 2001, started his career to work for headquarters for deputy elections of State Duma. And because he started touching and fathoming the Russian politics and what was facing a Liberal Party's challenges, owing to the prominence of Gorbachev's perestroika, some Russians tended to look for freedom, civil rights and liberal voices. So the one challenge who admitted them to make that dream come true is building a liberal parties. Alexei got elected to the office for the first time, became a member of the regional council for his party, Yabloko, in Moscow. It was one of the leading liberal opposition parties in a newly democratic Russia of the 1990s, led first by Grigory Yavlinsky, a liberal economist who teamed up with Yuri Boldarev, an anti-corruption campaigner, and Vladimir Lukin to form a bloc to run in December 1993 State Duma elections. The alliance named Yabloko, that party influenced deeply Alexei, especially that Yabloko's candidates were mostly young professionals and intellectuals. This is Yevgenia Albets, Russian investigative journalist and political scientist, graduated from Harvard. When she finished her studies, she went back to Russia, gathering the young activists in her Moscow apartment, about 20 people of different political stripes, from social democrat to libertarian to religious rights activist. Navalny was among that gathering. Although he was the oldest, however he was the least articulate. Most of the others has gone to prestigious colleges, while he had only undergraduate law degree from Tier school. That latter didn't stop Navalny from moving forward. Navalny have been teaching himself how to be politicians. He taught himself public speaking and learning English. In 2007, he left Yabloko to start a new movement. He and his co-founders called their movement Narod, which means people. 2008, Navalny makes a splash for the first time nationally when he published an evidence of embezzlement funds for major state corporations, including Russian gas giant Gazprom. That year, Putin was elected to be a Russian president. Putin had taken control of the media and dismantled the electoral system, effectively destroying Russia's politics, especially after the articles published on Navalny's blog talked about corrupt oil skimming, fraud, and land deals. 2010, he decided to create Rospil, an anti-corruption project run by a team of lawyers. He established the foundations for fighting corruptions. After all, it seems that Navalny's efforts started to be more exposed in Russia. Mass protests sparked there. At least 25,000 protesters called for anti-Putin regime, spoke out against United Russia, the dominant political party that is affiliated with Putin, calling it a party of swindlers and thieves. After a year, the investigative committee launches another probe about alleged embezzlement at Navalny's linked Russian subsidiary of Yves Rocker, a French cosmetics company. Navalny again said the allegations are politically motivated. Although he is a opposition leader, he is politically undesirable. He managed to run for mayor of Moscow and gathered 27% of the vote in 2013. And this is so impressive. 2015, Navalny used again the media. he released his first long-form video, a YouTube documentary called Sheikha, which means seagull, where he accused Prosecutor General Yuri Sheikha and his team for their notorious criminals, and many other videos that got millions of views. Accusing then Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev, he talked extensively about the story of the biggest tribe. In 2018, Navalny announced he will run for president, but Russia's court barred him from running, citing his past sentencing. Navalny called for protest against that decision, after which Navalny was going back from Tomsk to Moscow, but oops, he got poisoned by the Soviet nerve agent Novichok. It is an organophosphorus compound created during the Cold War. Due to their enormous toxicity, Novichoks considered attractive targets for terrorists. Directly, Navalny was hospitalized to Berlin, and once he went back to Russia, he was arrested for previous suspended sentence on embezzlement charges. Here, he published the biggest video on his YouTube channel, titled Putin's Palace, where he made big investigations on Putin's wealth. That video got millions of views. The next year, Navalny is sentenced to 9 more years in prison on fraud charges. 2023, the authority increased the punishment to be 19 years old, accusing him for his political extremist charges, and with the beginning of the new year, died on Friday at Arctic prison located in Yamalo-Nenets region, where he was serving a 3-decade prison term, about 1900 kilometers far from Moscow.